Joe here. My final story. Final story. I believe this is my 103rd. I think. I already know what it is. It's beautiful. But before I get into this story, I just wanted to say 103 stories. It was a science experiment to see if I actually was capable of telling a story per random topic picked out of this wonderful hat, which I will now wear. This is my Freddy Krueger hat, which I said. And 103 stories later, here we are. And I've told 103 different stories. I've had to look for references. I've had to, make sure I don't retell stories with certain topics. Montauk and Dorney, for instance. I've told funny stories. I've told sad stories. I've told true stories. Nothing was made up. And it's interesting because I always have a story. So it's not a lie when I say I literally can talk for hours because I can. And that's evident because of the 103 stories that I have shared with all of you. So here we are 103 days later. A long ass time, by the way. So what was that? The beginning of February? So March, April, May. 3 months. A quarter of the year was being told stories. I got tired of it. I'm not going to lie. So this is it. This is my last story. Who knows if I, go on a rant at some point with other topics, if I feel like it. Or just a song, perhaps. Who knows? But I did these stories to see if I could. And always I had a tale to share. So a lovely yarn to share. Now, with that being said, as I rolled this up, the last topic is of Pokemon. Now, I've been a fan since I was a wee little child. Came out in 95 in Japan, came out in 96 over here. I was 6 years old. Pokemon was huge when I was in elementary school. Huge. So 6 years old, I was what, first grade? Something like that. We would all get in trouble for, trading cards in class and bringing our Game Boys and things to that extent. But then, when you hit middle school, like, Pokemon's not cool anymore. But then when you hit high school, Pokemon's cool again. So it was a weird transition. I had never completed a Pokedex until Gen 6 came out, Generation 6, with Pokemon X and Y. So that's 718 Pokemon in that Dex registered. Took 5 people to complete it. So long. But I think why it's so popular is because it's interactive. Like, you're in control. Like, yeah, it promotes animal abuse, quote unquote, bullshit. You work together as a team. It's all about teamwork. It's about community. What do you do to, benefit yourself? You work at it. You train. You go hard. Whether you're talking about a Pokemon being trained or you being trained. You as the trainer, you have to watch your Pokemon faint. And it's just reminiscent of, like, you fall in life. But then you get back up. You learn things. Then you learn a move. And then, you can keep going. Your speed will get greater. Your attack will get greater. Your defense will get greater. It's just very reminiscent of life. And it's a beautiful thing that kids now who grew up with it in my age range, so, us mid-20s people and older, can look down the line and see that, kids, 5, 6, 7 now, there's a 20 to 30 year bridge of Pokemon players. And that's amazing for a game to do that. So, kudos to you, Nintendo and Game Freak. Can't wait for your Gen 3 remakes to come out. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I'm gonna get Omega Ruby. I wanted Alpha Sapphire because Alpha is a beautiful term for, Alpha Pack Team Wolf, right? But I have a shiny Groudon already, and I kind of need a regular one, so I'm going Omega. Cannot wait for November. Gen 7, whenever the hell that comes out, it's going to be pretty epic, I'm not going to lie. And I expect a Dragon Eevee type, by the way. Just saying. Okay. And I want another evolution of Girafarig. It's pissing me off. There's only one. On that note, life's an adventure. You have your highs, you have your lows. Always talk to people. Make friends. Talk to strangers. How are you going to make friends? Didn't Dave Franco say that in 21 Jump Street? That's a poor attitude. How are you ever supposed to make friends? That's what it was. How do you expect to make friends? And yes, thank you for bearing with me for 103 stories. And I'd like to hear your stories. With that being said, thank you, fare thee well, my good sir, and stay nar, brahies.